This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Ping.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
Welcome to Transformations with Tara Sutphin. Tara Sutphin is the author of Blame It on Your Past Lives, Soul Agreements, and The Abenda Chronicles. Grammy-nominated audios, videos, and MP3 series. You can find these MP3 series now at TaraInsight.com.
Welcome to Transformations with Tara. I'm Tara Sutphin, and my guest and co-host today is Jason D. McKean, and he is the voice of over 1 million own recordings throughout the world. And Jason, congratulations on your new book.
What?
Please
a new book?
Show it.
A new book?
Yes.
A new
Magic
there it is. Oh my God.
Tarot reading with the Tarot Wizard.
That's me.
Ta-da! Isn't it great? I love the cover. I do. I love it.
I am so happy. I was telling you that I hadn't received like the final copy, until yesterday. And I've had it done since the end of April. Like my goal was to have it done by May, and I'm happy to say that yes, I made the goal. But it was something that there's like little bits and pieces as far as like the manufacturing of it, and it, I wanted to be 100% happy with it, and it's like. The first cover was not what I intended as far as it was like a great idea, but it didn't come out well. And so it's like, you retool it, you make it work. Right. And so I did that. And so I got my copy yesterday, and I'm just like pleased as punch with it. So it's like stepping into a new realm. When you have a book that you've written that expresses like a lot of your ideas, and it opens the door for a deeper conversation. This is like the Magic Channel tarot reading it's something that I feel that I've it's the road to getting to that has been like kind of a really long road with a lot of twists and turns, but I feel that the process is authentic for me, and if the person reading says, "Wow, that's like really something to think about," and all that's the words they do their job when they inspire a thought, right? When someone will read something and go, "Oh, I haven't thought of it in this way," or so. Or, it's like my block is that, I'm always trying to do this, but, however one is able to move through their own blocks and find their own process, I'm all about that. And the book inspires that whole like spirit of that.
Yeah. Time to wake up.
Right? Was that your alarm to like wake up? It's like, finally, now I can come up out of my dream.
Yeah, no, it's so, I'm right getting on the radio. Exactly. I keep snoozing it.
Yeah. So, one thing I noticed is you have a Super Mom cup.
I do, from Hunter. Hunter
is
gave
that
me
new?
A Super Mom cup for Mother's Day. Isn't that sweet?
Yeah, that is awesome. Happy post Mother's Day.
Thank you. It was great. Yeah, they did really well, the kids this year. It was nice.
I saw that. You got to see your boys.
Yeah, got to see the boys, and Cheyenne was doing her thing, but she gave me the most beautiful shoes. A moon and sun shoes.
That's tricky, buying someone shoes.
Oh, she buys me stuff like that all the time. Yeah, we buy stuff like that.
I mean, because there's a size, right, that fits, but it's also just that comfort level. It's like not every shoe
Oh,
that I put my foot into at that recommended size is always like comfortable.
right. She ordered these special, but usually, I mean, her and I wear the similar size, so it's real easy. If I don't really like something, like I feel it's too tight or something, I give them
Right.
to her, because
Right.
she's just a
Can,
teensy.
can you see me wearing the same clothes as Dad?
Yeah.
Like the
Well,
plaid.
you'd think that, but I know, but people, the kid girls have always gone through my closet and borrowed stuff. All our friends, all the young girls. And then I thought, wow, and you don't have to be trendy. They just put together things and it's all good.
Right.
Yeah, it's a girl thing.
Well, it helps if you wear like cool clothes.
Yeah, I don't think of myself as very cool. I'm not.
Yeah, but you're also not, like just wearing like a conservative pantsuit or something.
Mm, yeah, but maybe some of the kids might like that. But yeah, no,
No,
it's
no, there are no kids that are going to like a conservative pantsuit.
that's not in right now. But you never know.
No.
Could come back. Could come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't have
We'll
those
hope.
kind of clothes. I'm a little more bohemian, no doubt. So, they pick a bohemian thing to wear for sure. Something fringy, something velvety, something silky, something.
Okay. Well, we'll go out of your closet and we'll talk about the book some more.
Supermom.
So
Yeah, the book is fantastic. Okay, let's talk about it. So what do you first learn?
you first learn that this is not a book. You first learn about the type of book that it is not.
Okay.
And there are, how many tarot books out there?
Oh,
A
lot.
million?
Yeah, million.
There are as many tarot books out there as there are tarot decks out there. And my goal was not to cover like all of these territories that have already been covered and then slap my name on it, right? It was like about finding something very unique and also very personal about my journey through becoming the tarot wizard, from being like the 98-pound weakling on the beach who gets sand kicked in their face to doing the work of building up your intuitive muscles and reading muscles and becoming the guy on the Malibu beach who's like, no, I'm not really that guy. But as far as in the tarot world, it's like just stepping up to any environment, any event that calls and like saying yes to it and having the full confidence of what you bring to it. That's the journey. And so, it's not a book about you open it up and, oh, let me see what all these meanings are of these cards, the magician, the high priestess, whatever. Or it's like, oh, let's see if there's like a bunch of different spreads that I can try out. It's not that book. And it's definitely not the book of like, tarot was invented in the 1400s, we think, by the Italians. Or it's like, it's not that book. It's a book that looks to ask you questions about your connection with the tarot. Why is it calling you? And are you heeding that call? And looking at it with kind of the spirit of someone who's looking to expand their relationship with the tarot, not seeing the tarot as a tool, but as a partnership, because it can run very, very deep. And it's like the moments that I saw that, it wasn't just something that was a modality to, it's this wonderful way of exploring someone's life. And so one looks at it by, creating sacred space. And that's the very first like point of it is to see it as a means of creating sacred space of seeing yourself, because you are the querent as well. We read for ourselves quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But, looking at others as spiritual beings where, we're all a work in progress. We're all on a journey, on a soul journey, and we're not all at the same place on the path. And, helping kind of set some of these foundations so that when we're reading, it's not that we're imposing, you need to do this exactly because this is what I did. And then, it's not about that. It's about, opening someone else to their own sense of their journey. And so that one can, look to build consciousness, awareness, where they can take that step back and kind of see themselves, moving through their journey.
I think that, every painter, that even though you set up the same thing, always, paints a different painting.
Yeah.
Everyone is their own individual. And so it's the same thing with psychic ability. When you start to really get into it, you develop different skills and you have different gifts and different ways of looking at things than somebody else. And so therefore it really, becomes your own unique divination system. So, I mean, you really took it and ran with it. Whereas, a lot of people, they stay stuck, like, oh, I have to know the exact meaning of this, and I teach different modalities so that, you can click your mind to not be stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the beauty of like the intuitive process is like, if someone is feeling that they're not enough because they're not visualizing something, but they're hearing things, they just have a sense of knowing, right? It's like, if someone is aware of that, right, then they can get out of like, just being like, well, I'm not doing it this way, and so I must be doing it wrong.
Right. Right. And a lot of symbology, some people see only in dreams, I mean, everybody is we're all wired a little different. So if we pay attention to what we're getting, it's very fun. It becomes like a fact finding thing about yourself or about other people around you.
Yeah. It's very common. I hear it from a lot of students that they'll buy decks and, sometimes they buy a lot of decks, because it's like, oh yeah, this is great.
Collection. I'm one of those people who has tons of decks.
Right. But you don't hold yourself back, right, from using those decks.
No, I love them.
Whereas, having a lot of decks doesn't mean that you're actually reading the decks, that you're diving in. Sometimes you're holding back to, like wait for the right deck, right? That's what I hear sometimes. And so what I wanted to do was, have like this book that instead of it being this tome that is the end all of all these things about tarot, where it's this simple, it covers a lot of different areas, but it helps one to unblock themselves so that they're able to start to give themselves permission to read on the level that they are at. Rather than the thinking, it's like, it's like I had a conversation yesterday about reversals, and it's like, oh, that adds another like 78 meanings, to the cards, of like, and one can feel like, it's like, oh, I've got tarot, but now I've got to memorize just all this stuff and all. And that can be daunting. It can be, where people like start to like just kind of freak out. And so I just say, what, if you're reading intuitively, you don't need to read reversals. It's like, know the layers of the cards, know what they mean, and new layers will show up as you're reading. But but if you're locked into, it's like, oh, this has to be, perfect. I need to know exactly everything before I start. Then you're diminishing kind of that individual process too. Why you're called to read Tarot, and that is, I feel at the foundation, it's one of creating sacred space. You're there with someone else or yourself, right? You're looking to see your journey, what you can do to help yourself, like move forward, to unblock these channels of energy that are within us. That it's like the Tarot shows, like spirit shows our emotions, our mind, the physical, and I break it down, where it's like, very very simple understandings of the suits, and looking at that flow of energy. That's something I like to teach too. It's like these classes where we just look at the flow of energy to see if it looks like someone is moving forward in their quest, or if they're being blocked by themselves or an outside influence.
Right. Well, I mean, because we all get in our own way, but where do we unblock? I mean, it's really finding, I think, with Tarot, it's finding things to make us solve, and it's fun to know what's going to happen upcoming, or choices upcoming, but where do you solve your life? Like, get hopeful about this, because you can step into more, and a lot of times I like to do, when I'm doing readings for people, is just see where the cards come up for them, like what they most need to know at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just, it's like, okay, they want to concentrate on your money, or they want to concentrate on your love life, or and it's so interesting how it just pops.
It is eternally fascinating.
Yeah.
To when one just kind of lets go, as far as they don't have the agenda of like, well, I need to know about this and this and this. It's like that area of, well, what is it that your spiritual source, your helpers, what do they like have in mind for you too? What are you not seeing? And to look at those areas. There's a part in the book too where I talk about how we let go. How we let go of, because the Tarot is a process of, I mean, we let go, right? It's not that we look at the faces of the cards and say, oh, this is my card for today, right? The Sun, I'm picking that one, right? Because who's going to pick like the Tower? Who's going to pick, like the Four of Cups, right? As far as just consciously, it's like, I want to, create my own block here. It's like looking at the backs of cards, right? Or just feeling, and there's a lot of like certain rules and all about, pick with your non-dominant hand and stuff like that. But I
had a little Russian girl in my class years ago, with the teen class, and she taught us how to do the Russian gypsy cards. Mm-hmm. And she had been doing them with her mom and her grandma since she was 5 years old. And so it was really fun, some of the different modalities, because we totally got into it with her. But she would do things like run the lighter underneath the cards to clear the energy and stuff, to whereas like just let the energy be the saute in the cards, just as.
Yes.
Just go forward. Don't do all this weird stuff. Just
we're all in the spiritual soup together, right?
Yeah, we're all in the spiritual soup. We are.
It's like the clarity. There's a lot to be said about the clarity. Being from within. Yeah. Right. It's like where you don't, party. I've had people saying, "Oh man, you should get like really stoned before you like read. I bet it would be amazing." It's like, no.
Not, oh, yes, I could be possessed. Yeah.
It's like
Weird things.
it's like it's amazing. It's amazing because one is conscious and they're letting go. They're surrendering to the spiritual source. It's like you're connecting, and it's not a something where you're half baked. It's like you're looking to take things seriously. It's like I have people that come in and say, well, I had a reading like 20 years ago, and it was like I remember it. It was like this and this and this. It's like, oh my God, it's like, a reading can stay with a person for a very long time. So if you're like, fully stoned and it's like, well, I don't know what I said.
Oh my gosh, yeah, a very long time. I mean, I still have people 35 years ago telling me what I told them.
Exactly, and so one has to,
you can't be irresponsible. You
have to be in that responsible place. So are there some rules? Yes, absolutely. There's solid foundations. There's solid foundations if you're creating a healthy relationship with the tarot. Again, the tarot is not a tool. It's a relationship. It's a partnership. And so by stressing some of these things at the onset, then how one builds those rituals of clearing. There's nothing wrong with putting your cards on selenite and using Palo Santo and sage and all that. This if
no, but not every time you touch them. Not you don't have to sit on them for 5 minutes.
Sometimes you can't. Like I've been in psychic fairs where it's just like kind of one quern after the other, after the other, after the other. So it's like, I'll give the cards a good whack, just to like, but I make it a point in group settings to have other people pick cards, for a person. I make it a point because we're all in it together. If someone is like sitting close to the table, if they're observing someone else getting a reading, I'll tell them, it's like, as a joke, it's like, just keep your energy to your side of the table. Don't let it creep over, or else it's going to affect the reading. And so I'll see them like just kind of like, try to hold it together a little bit more. And I'm just kidding. You already infected the cards. This was before the pandemic, by the way, when it's like,
oh yeah.
I haven't seen like people in a long time. I think my beard was this long last time I saw people. No, this photo, by the way, it is actually a photo of me at work there at a party, and taken by an amazing photographer, Robert Yeager.
He did a great job.
Oh my God, it's amazing, and it was something that I as an art director, and I'll just put some secret sauce on it, and made it a little bit more old, as far as aged it. And there's something about, again, kind of my thing, right, as far as I'm very attracted to that which is in the old, the old in the past, in the antique realm, and also kind of the futuristic as well. And so the present is a very strange place. It's kind of that melding pot, I guess. But I wanted to have kind of like a fun, almost like a circus poster kind of look to it. Something that was,
fun to read,
kind of mystical, But I drew like illustrations for it. That there we go. Like some of it is just simple line art. Most of it is simple line art. My how I do shorthand when I'm doing classes. It's like, instead of writing, oh, the 4 of cups, it's like I'll do 4 and then, just draw a symbol for the cups. That's the wands, the swords and pentacles.
Right.
Where it's just like you create your own shorthand. And I, heartily subscribe to creating your own system of how you keep track of things. And if you like to just take those shortcuts, it's like, make it your own. I'm all about, you finding your own style, because, one is chosen, to, I feel that when the tarot is like calling, it's like, we may not know how to fully like express it yet.
Yeah.
And it's like when I first started, like in my 20s, I think you gave me some tarot cards, I think some Rider-Waite, but it was back in the day when we had books and all to glean the meanings, because those pamphlets are kind of useless, the ones that come with the cards.
Oh, I always used them though. I loved everything, to read anything I could.
It's good to look at it and all, but they, I found that there were some books that were like really much more solid as far as how to like glean an understanding. And I used the Celtic Cross. Now I hate the Celtic Cross. Sorry. It's just,
well, not the actual cross. You're talking about the tarot system.
Yeah, the tarot spread. It's way too confining and all. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put that out there, because it's like, again, there can be those who say, no, you have to do it in this manner and all that. It's like, no, it's like the
great way to learn on the Celtic Cross. It is great way to learn.
I'm just going to say that it's, knowledge is good. If it's not your thing, then, don't torture yourself on it. Don't hang yourself on that cross. Right. That's all I'm going to say on that. But the I mean, it didn't allow for me to have a like, I started it and then it didn't go anywhere for me. So it wasn't something that I felt I aligned with. And it wasn't until later, like reading with the 3 card, where and that's very open-ended. It's not like it's past, present, future, or whatever. It's like you start to see patterns, and I talk about that in the book, about the opening up to patterns, and which card is speaking to you first, and so that one doesn't get in a place of feeling locked in or blocked. They start to open. And I find that in classes and all, that when we do that there's a flow that begins. Right. And it's all about being in the flow and moving with that. Again, the idea of letting go, of not having to control a reading, because there's a difference between being responsible for your words, but also not where you're looking to control how it is that you're feeling about something. I mean, there's a balance in there, and that's the process of it. And it is good to practice as much and find those safe spaces that you can practice.
I think that you practiced a lot. All the metaphysical and Eastern bookstores in Los Angeles, you've been, everybody. Yeah. Wherever Jason goes, he meets somebody that he knows now.
Yeah.
And he's read for them, and it's fun. And funny. You have some really funny stories. Yeah. Anyway.
Like what?
Oh, I don't know.
We can't tell them, can we?
But I don't know, one of those rock stars that came in once and you didn't know who he was, and he was hilarious, and you were teasing him about different things, but it was fun.
About his jewelry.
Somebody said something like, "Oh, did you know who that was?" It didn't matter. It doesn't matter who anybody is, because you're going to read for the soul of the person and what they need.
That is the truth of it, right? That's like no matter where someone is at in their life, they are on the journey. They're on the path,
right?
And sometimes if someone has like a history of success, even that if they're now at a place where that's shifting, right, where what they were known for, that arena is shifting, then it can be this new territory for them, and how they're aligning with that new territory. And so everyone showing that compassion, just to look to see how someone is moving through that, so that they don't undo themselves. Everyone has that potential, right, to be at the top of the game, or to fall on harder times. And so aligning yourself as a reader, so that you don't get like in this kind of weird, like either starstruck place, or it's like you're looking at someone's success and all, and where you can see people as humans, as souls.
Absolutely.
And that's where it feels like it's kind of like this equalizing factor as well, where it's funny, because you can see in the cards sometimes, by the nature of what comes up, a person's power. I've had people that I've pulled for, and it's like everything that comes up is like a major arcana, and that's really rare, to not have like a good mixture of things. But others, it's like their path, it's like all the royalty cards are coming up, like in their career, like all the kings. It's like, whoa, this is like someone who, when they apply themselves, they can really go for it. And sometimes they just need to see that. Sometimes they need that vision of that for themselves, and say, you know what, I can do this, and it's just a reminder, rather than focusing on some
what they can't do. Right. I agree. And what they're good at. A lot of people forget what they're good at, and so you have to you see it. I'll see it if I'm doing a reading with the cards. I don't use the cards a lot, but when
how dare you?
I like the touchstone, and being able to, at that point, remind them, whatever I'm seeing. Yeah, it's fun.
Yes. Yeah. One thing, it's funny, because you're talking about those things that one is good at. There's also the things that are kind of baked in one's being. And I found that as I was putting the book together, because I've put together, I don't know, 20, 30 books in the past for other authors, where they've written it, but I've formatted it, put it into a style.
And those were the old days where you didn't have some computer technology. You were
sometimes
type-pasting it, type paste, and sending it off to the printer, and all of it. The whole shebang.
Yeah, it's like this particular book was like technically, it's putting it through Microsoft Word, and then saving it as a PDF and uploading it, right?
Yeah.
That part of it is very much easier than printing out 108 pages, which is the length of this book, by the way. 108
sacred ohms.
108 sacred pages of the
That's
Magic Channel Tarot.
Right.
Um, that those days were, and it would be like, oh my God, if an author went back and said, oh, I need to change this part, it would affect everything that followed.
Right.
And so it's like you wanted it to be pretty well just edited and kind of set by the time you get to that point of doing the final mechanicals for it.
Yeah, our best friend for some, well, he's still our best friend, even though he's crossed over for the last 20 years, but he, 19 years. So he used to go the manual typewriter because he didn't even want the hum of the electric typewriter when he wrote, and Gestern, and he would write things and then he'd cut and tape, and I mean, it was like this thing and that he'd give somebody to type up. It was hilarious and fun to watch the process of him.
It was but that was the process.
Yeah,
that was the process where you'd have the sticky notes and the
scissors and paper.
Yeah. And so it has made it so that anyone can do this. Anyone can write a book, right? But to have the experience that makes gives the book its essence, all right? I found that the hardest part for me was writing the book, was finding the method in which to write it. And it started out as like a dictation process where I was speaking and the computer would put it into text, but it took a while to even get warmed up to that idea. Part of it is like, because as an old production artist, I know like once I start something, it's like I'm going to finish it, but it's going to be like a major effort. And it was, it was, but it did become like fun. At first, it's kind of like pulling teeth, and then it's like, oh, okay. But then you get into a flow of it, and then
pulling teeth,
and then you're like, a frenzy, by the end of it, because it's like, you've got it all uploaded in your head, and you're like, arranging it and putting it together and all
that. Of details to make it happen.
Yeah.
Now, and then you have to sell it, and everybody wants to want it. Yeah. I'm a great collector of anything that's, of the occult world. So divination, psychic, metaphysics. I'm in astrology. I'm collecting it.
Yeah, you have extensive libraries. It's like you love books.
Yeah, books are my friends for sure.
Yeah, there's something about a book though. I mean, it's like the way you hold it. You can turn to any page. There is something that, it's a beautiful thing.
It is. Yeah, and I love all my books. I do. I love and I think that my just being an author too. I think that it gives me, I just know the painful process that people go through of like, oh gosh, I don't think nobody wants to hear this. I don't think that I need to share that. I have to be in a better light here. I'm complaining. I'm, I mean, it's a process of where do you go with things? You're always second guessing yourself on a book.
Mm-hmm.
Where, what do I need to do to create something? Am I, is my voice, do I need to make it, where anybody wants to, it's easiest if you're having a conversation, you're creating a friend to listen. So it's just this whole process.
It is
a book now, and it's been a process.
And you are having conversations, aren't you?
I'm actually having a conversation. Yeah. Well, mine's pretty. Mine is outlined out. This one, yeah, and all my books have been conversations with the other side. So, that's if you're interested in that, that's where you're going usually with my books. Towards the tarot, that's fascinating. I've always loved the tarot. As you know, I collect tarot cards.
Mhm.
And then I had another friend who her bookstore in Northern California, she closed it. And so she had boxes of tarot cards. And she was like, you're the only person I think would really love these. And it's like, of course I brought them home. And
Like, yes, send them my way.
A way that other people would like, and it's great. I really enjoy the tarot cards.
Yeah, what's funny is that, as a tarot wizard, it's like I'm not a collector of tarot cards. Sue is. Sue has like a lot of decks, including decks that have our dogs in them. It's like both Archie and Ananda are on the Queen of Pentacles in the Wise Dog Tarot. That was created.
And I have that as a gift from you guys.
Yeah. And so stuff like that, I find that, again, it's about, that which works, if I'm reading on the Queen Mary, at Halloween time, then it's like, having like a fun kind of ghosty deck, is like part of the ambiance of it. And that's a lot of fun. But, most people who are, looking to look at a situation in their life in a serious manner, they're not like just wanting to be like scared or entertained necessarily. They're looking to be, to find answers. And it's like, I gravitate towards the ones that it's like those harder cards, like the Tower and the Ten of Swords and all, where they're not as visceral. It's not, you're looking to shock someone out of their gourd, by their the choices that you're looking at making or whatever. It's like you're looking for a spiritual understanding, and so it's like the Wizard's Tarot. I like a lot. I use it, but I teach with the Rider-Waite because it's so well supported by other websites and just information. It's a great learning deck.
It's a great learning deck. I mean, I learned on the Rider-Waite, but I had the real tiny cards on my first.
Do you mean like the real tiny ones, like the
tiny ones?
pocket?
Like they're maybe an inch and a half, 2 inches.
Yeah.
They were tiny cards, and so those were mine for my first ones. Rider-Waite deck.
I still have like mine, but Sue, I had them in my pocket, and Sue washed them. And they ended up being about this thick, as far as because they were like really compact, and then with that added water and detergent and all, they got really fat. So it's like can't really shuffle those. It's like a little mini sandwich or something.
Oh my gosh! Right? Yeah.
And what other decks do you like?
Mine. Huh?
You like the Italian decks?
I do. I love the Scapinis and the Marchettis. Those are my favorites. Yeah.
You also have a painting of the High Priestess.
Here, Jason, I'll choose a card for the new book.
The new book available at Amazon.
New book. And
Magic Channel Tarot reading. With
right.
The Tarot Wizard.
I did 3. I like the power of 3. So I got the Page of Swords. So it's a very introspective book. It's learning about yourself. You're walking along a path. It's the card of the psychic. The this card. Oops, here.
Yeah, hold it in front of you. You have to hold it in front of you so it doesn't disappear.
Right. So this is the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is all about walking forward. We see the black cat. You have the labyrinth. You have, there's a thought. All swords are thought. And so you have the it's not a wizard, but she's a witch.
She's like a knower of the magical ways.
Here, right. She's a seer. So this is and the moon is there. It's waning, and so it's looking at the patterns in your life as far as like where are you going, but it's a labyrinth, it's like a magical, somewhere magical to like start thinking about and going for. And so it's all that psychic divinity. First. So then the second card I got was the Six of Pentacles. And so the Six of Pentacles, I believe, is, like it's at its new beginning, but it gives people a chance to see where their idiosyncrasies are, their charity, their problems, their lack, and to understand it more. Like it's all about being compassionate to others, to their life purpose and their destiny. And so it's so the book covers a lot of that. It's not it goes into the past and into the future and stays, like the present, like what can you do about what are you doing for your life to give you something that you can work toward or not, or knowledge of. So it's giving you something, and it's some kind of charitable gift. And so then the third card I got was the Ace of Wands. And so, it's going to catch, the book's going to catch, it's going to go forward very easily. It's a building, you're building. Wands are always action cards. You're going forward. It's going to, it's all about workable solutions and going forward. So it's all great.
Awesome. Thank you, Tara.
Good. Thank forward you. Movement.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I love that it kind of covers like, like a spectrum there of the mental, the spiritual. It's like body, mind, and spirit.
Right. Body, mind, and spirit. Yeah, it did. It went through it. So, and here's Jason, the King of Wands. Anyway, so I just picked this card just to show you. These are the Scapini cards. Yeah.
Did you just randomly pick that card?
I just randomly.
Because that is my card.
I just picked you. Yes.
The King of Wands.
King of Wands. Yes. So, King of Wands, going forward, making progress.
Excellent. Yeah. And it's I feel that there's, it's funny because, when you're writing something, it's like, oh, I could add this and I could add this, and you could throw in like a bunch of stuff. And yet it's okay to end something too, to have your beginning and your end of something. And then, you can build on that. It's just about, not having something that is just an ongoing, project or whatever that you never let go of. I'm very good at being able to let go of something once it's done, because of all the albums I've created, movies, everything, right? It's just like when you're done, you're done, and you can add, create something, new after that. And so, this feels like it's a complete, aspect of again, kind of looking at setting that stage for someone who is really interested, who's called to read, and where it doesn't lock them into it's like it's got to be done this exact way. And these are the principles in which to explore and see how it is that you resonate with them. And you know what, if you don't resonate with them, it's like, move on to something else. It's like, you don't have to,
right.
I'll be hurt personally if you toss my book away,
Very fun.
Right?
You're really such a great teacher. I have to say that I even go to Jason's classes because they're so much fun. You have great classes. And now the Japanese, you're teaching in Japan all the time.
In the Japanese community, yes, there's classes of Tarot and also of channeling too.
Mm-hmm.
Where utilizing the Tarot with or working with the Tarot to for it to be to have it say, right, and you tap into that and channel with that. There's it's a pretty full rich environment.
Mm-hmm.
And in that relationship that you build with the Tarot is not just something that is it's certainly not something to be like abused and all. There's one thing that I wanted to share, and it's like one of the things that it's like this lightning. It's like if you'll get a smackdown if you keep asking the same question.
Right.
Right. It's like the person who's obsessed. It's like, what does my boyfriend think of me? Well, how about now?
Yeah.
How about now? And then it's like
now?
Right. It's if you are obsessed, it's like the Tarot. It recognizes that, and it's like,
yeah.
Stop. It's like it's not healthy. It is not healthy to do that and to lean on any spiritual source for these things. It's like it's like you have to do some work on yourself. It's like it's like when you're in a relationship, it's like you can't just depend on the other person to like
make you happy.
Yeah, it's like you have to have a life. You have to build your life, and you have to have a sense of self that you're bringing to a relationship.
Yeah, so that's what you're doing with the Tarot, you're saying. So it's I mean, it's fun. It's fun. Like when I first began the Tarot, or even automatic writing, I had to have other people to write about. I couldn't just write about me. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even want to trust it when I thought it was just about me.
Right.
It's easier to sometimes just let go, and so and you can do anything really, world events, the nature, countries. I mean, you can practice on different things.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Put in a notebook just so you can see how accurate you are, or how, I mean, there's an accuracy that comes if you think, oh, I was way off there.
And sometimes you open up to new meanings kind of in the moment too.
Right.
New layers of meaning, and sometimes those heavy cards are like like a good example, like the 10 of Swords, right? Mm-hmm. It's like if you go to the pamphlet, right, in the deck, it's going to say ruin, you're devastated, and it's like,
it's just black.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, opening up to like other ways of seeing perception.
Well, it's a lot of worry, that is, and then something's going out to bring something else in. You never know what that. I mean, it depends on what question you asked. I mean,
yeah, sure.
The question is a lot of what that's about. You can't just all of a sudden go off track and go, oh my God, something, it's an interesting process for sure.
So thank you.
So
thank you for letting me talk about.
Oh, I love it. I can't wait to get my own copy. I love it.
You'll get a signed copy.
Oh, goody. I love it. Okay.
Soon. So it's on Amazon. That's the only place that it's available is Amazon. But who doesn't love Amazon, right?
Well, I Maybe, I don't know if everybody does.
Right.
But the thing is that it's, it's easy to order at this time. So that's good. So now, do you have any, let's do your website, and do you have any classes coming up?
JasonDMcKean.com, but I post all my classes on Facebook through events and all that. So Jason D. McKean, McKean. And I've got classes 3 times a week. So if anyone reads the book and has questions, come to class, and we'll answer your questions.
Okay.
Thank you,
and
Tara.
You're on Instagram as well, right?
Yes, Jason Tarot Wizard.
Okay. And I'm at tarainsight.com, TaraInsighd. And Jason is his name right there on the screen. Jason D. McKean, JASONDMC, capital KEAN. And you can find him on Amazon and his website. So thank you, Jason, for being on this show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I love you, Tara.